All right, today we're talking about ghusl. It's an Islamic ritual of full-body purification that, honestly, is so much more than just taking a shower. It's this amazing link between being physically clean and being spiritually ready for worship. So, let's get into it.
So, first things first, what does ghusl actually mean? Well, it's kind of got these two layers to it. There's the everyday literal meaning, and then there's the much deeper religious one.
You see, linguistically, it's simple. Water flowing over something. Washing. But in the religious sense, there's a key ingredient added, a specific sacred intention. In Arabic, it's called niyyah. And that intention, that silent commitment, is what turns a simple physical act into a profound act of worship.
And this really gets to the heart of the matter. The main goal of ghusl isn't just about washing off dirt. Its real purpose is to spiritually cleanse a person from something called janaba, which is a state of major ritual impurity. It's all about getting back to a state of purity so you can perform acts of worship like prayer.
Okay, so when do you actually have to perform ghusl? Well, there are 6 specific situations or causes that make this full-body purification a requirement.
And what's really interesting here is how these are broken down. You've got 3 causes that are shared by both men and women, all tied to these profound life moments of intimacy and, of course, the end of life itself. Then, there are 3 that are specific to women, connected to the natural cycles of menstruation and childbirth. You can see how the ritual is woven into the very fabric of human experience.
All right, so we've covered the why. Now let's get into the how. The ritual has what are known as pillars. These are the absolute, non-negotiable parts. If you miss one of these, the ghusl isn't considered valid.
So there are 3 essentials. Number 1, it all starts with the intention, that niyyah we talked about. It's that silent promise you make to yourself, to God, that you're doing this for purification. Then you wash away any physical impurities. And finally, and this one's a big one, total saturation. Water has to reach every single part of your body, every bit of skin, every strand of hair.
And you know that last point about total saturation? It's taken so seriously. This detail here about undoing braids if you have to, it just goes to show this isn't a symbolic sprinkle. The physical completeness of the wash is absolutely crucial for the purification to be whole.
Okay, so those are the must-dos, the absolute essentials. But there's more to it. There are also recommended practices, known as sunan. Now, these aren't required to make the ghusl valid, but doing them is seen as a way to perfect the ritual and earn greater spiritual reward.
You can see how these actions add extra layers of mindfulness to the process. Things like starting in God's name, doing the lesser ablution or wudu first, and then being really methodical, like starting on the right side of your body, washing in sets of 3. It's all about making the act more deliberate and sacred.
So just to make that distinction super clear, the pillars, the fara'id, they're the foundation. The ghusl literally doesn't count without them. The recommended acts, the sunan, are like the finishing touches. They're not mandatory, but they make the whole act more complete and meaningful.
So what does this all mean for daily life? Like, if you're in this state of major impurity, what can't you do? And on the flip side, are there other times, beyond the required ones, when people perform ghusl?
This is where you really see the practical side of things. A whole set of sacred acts are essentially put on pause until you performed ghusl and restored that purity. We're talking about core acts of worship like prayer, reciting or touching the Quran, and even just being in a mosque. It really shows you just how central this idea of ritual purity is.
But here's the thing. Ghusl isn't just about hitting the reset button on impurity. It actually plays a much broader role in the life of a Muslim. It's a way to proactively prepare for some of life's most significant spiritual moments. It's also recommended for these huge communal moments of worship. Think about the big weekly Friday prayer or the massive Eid festival prayers. It's also a key step in preparing for the pilgrimage to Mecca. In these moments, performing ghusl is a way of marking the occasion as something special, preparing yourself inside and out.
So when you boil it all down, ghusl is this incredibly powerful ritual where the physical and the spiritual are just perfectly intertwined. It's a simple act, the flow of water over the body, but with intention, it becomes a way to purify the soul and prepare yourself for a connection with the divine.
And that really makes you think, doesn't it? Ghusl is this beautiful example from Islam, but it points to a much bigger, more universal question. How do we, as human beings, use physical, tangible acts to connect with the spiritual, not just in this faith, but across all of our traditions? It's something really fascinating to consider.